We have some breaking news right now. Donald Trump just posted one of the most, if not the most, unhinged Memorial Day messages you will ever see from a sitting American president, from the commander in chief of our armed forces. Donald Trump writes, "Happy Memorial Day to all, including the scum that spent the last 4 years trying to destroy our country through warped, radical left minds who allow 21 million people to illegally enter our country, many of them being criminals and the mentally insane, through an open border that only an incompetent president would approve, and through judges who are on a mission to keep murderers, gang members, and release prisoners from all around the world in our country. Hopefully, the United States Supreme Court and other good and compassionate judges throughout the land will save us from the decisions of the monsters who want our country to go to hell. But fear not, we have made great progress, and America will soon be safe and great again. Happy Memorial Day." If one thing you're missing there is a tribute or a message to the fallen soldiers, it's because it didn't ever come up. Donald Trump, the commander in chief of the United States of America, posted a Memorial Day message today and did not mention the fallen soldiers who perished in the line of duty, in the line of service to our nation. If Joe Biden or any Democratic president posted this message, folks, Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson would be writing a sequel to their book calling for the 25th Amendment to be invoked against the sitting president. But because this was Donald Trump, well, there's silence from the mainstream media, silence from those who would call for the resignation of a Democratic president who wrote something like this. Well, here's the thing. We do things a little differently here at the Parnas Perspective. We focus on truth. We focus on facts. If a Democratic president wrote this, I would call them out. Donald Trump wrote this, it's time to call him out. This is an unacceptable message on Memorial Day. So I do want to take a minute and just say thank you to all of you for your support. I also want to say that I am personally honoring and want to take a moment to honor the brave soldiers who gave their lives in service to our nation, because their sacrifice is the number one thing today. We can never forget their lives. This morning, I also woke up to a series of hateful and divisive and threatening language comments in my inboxes, including one that said, quote, "I say all conservatives set up a GoFundMe and we all donate to fund Aaron Parnas and his family and ... threatening my family, threatening myself. If you want to support my work and allow me to fight back, subscribe to my Substack today by clicking the button below, or consider sending a one-time donation via Venmo to Aaron, Aaron Parnas, Parnas. And speaking about hate, over the weekend, a group identified as the white nationalist hate group, the Patriot Front, marched through downtown Kansas City waving Confederate flags and carrying shields while wearing masks and matching uniforms. It's interesting, these hate groups, they don't want you to know who they are. They're scared. They wear masks. They're behind a mask, behind a shield, so the public doesn't know who they are. Well, here's the thing. The authorities did not arrest any of them. The authorities allowed them to march. City and museum officials condemned the group's presence, reaffirming Kansas City's commitment to inclusion and rejecting hate in all forms. Donald Trump is finally coming around to the fact that maybe Vladimir Putin does not want peace. Trump said that Vladimir Putin is, quote, absolutely crazy. He said that Putin is killing civilians without reason and added, "I don't know what the hell happened to Putin," despite previously claiming that he had a good relationship with the Russian president. French President Emmanuel Macron reacted to Trump's comments today, saying that he believes that Donald Trump is finally beginning to see that Vladimir Putin is lying about Ukraine, and that he hopes that Trump's anger will lead to concrete action. On the immigration front, Donald Trump's one of his biggest supporters, El Funky, known for his pro-Trump stance, he's a rapper, a Cuban rapper, says that he's now facing deportation and has been given 30 days to leave the United States after U.S. officials rejected his request for residency under the Cuban, it's a Cuban, like assimilation, Cuban, some type of Cuban Admission Act of 1966. His immigration status is now extremely uncertain. Donald Trump is criticizing Harvard again, demanding that Harvard provide the names and nationalities of its foreign students, and accusing the university of lacking transparency while receiving federal funding. Speaking about the big, beautiful budget bill, there is a key provision in there on pages 562 to page 563 that, if passes the Senate, would restrict a federal court's ability to enforce contempt proceedings. So I do want to talk about it. Traditionally, if I wanted to sue the Trump administration because of an executive order that directly harmed me, I can sue. an injunction could be granted, and if Trump and his administration violate the injunction, the federal court can issue contempt proceedings and hold administration officials responsible. But now, if this bill passes and a federal court wants to hold a Trump official in contempt, I would have to post a monetary bond, a large monetary sum, for the federal court to be able to do that. It would essentially decimate an individual's ability to sue the Trump administration and actually hold the administration accountable via contempt proceedings. But there is some solace for some folks who don't want this bill to pass. Republican Senator Ron Johnson says the Senate has enough votes to block the big, beautiful bill unless Trump commits to serious spending cuts and deficit reduction. This morning, an Israeli airstrike killed dozens, according to people sheltering in a local school in Gaza. According to the Gaza Civil Defense and the Associated Press, the death toll has risen to 33. Prime Minister Mark Carney has invited King Charles to open Canada's 45th Parliament, an unusual gesture that many view as a subtle message directed at Donald Trump. Trump's FEMA has rejected North Carolina's request to uphold a Biden-era promise to cover 100% of the debris removal costs from Hurricane Helene. Speaker Johnson is now claiming that Donald Trump is likely the most transparent leader in American history, saying he has nothing to hide, despite the fact that the White House won't tell the American public exactly who was at Donald Trump's recent meme coin dinner. And in a meeting with South Africa's president, Donald Trump played a video claiming to show widespread killings of South Africans. In reality, the footage came from the Democratic Republic of Congo. He lied. Folks, that's it right now. I'll have another update this evening, so stay tuned. Subscribe to support my work by clicking the button below or sending a one-time donation to support my work via Venmo to Aaron-Parnas, and I'll see you this evening.